Hello.
And welcome to Verge Magazine's brand new podcast, 3 for Thursday, brought to you by Audio Technica. I'm Sian.
I'm Tiann.
And 3 for Thursday is going to be your weekly podcast discussing the week's most talked about topics in pop culture.
We do try. We try to be as relevant as we possibly can.
Yes, hopefully we're going to be talking about the things that you're talking about.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
I mean, I wouldn't be doing my job properly as a researcher.
True. Very true.
It wasn't.
So, obviously, we are going to talk about the most talked about wedding of the year.
Do we have to?
Yes, because everyone's talked about it. Okay, we'll touch on it.
For so long.
Yeah, we have. So we'll touch on it, and we'll just touch on the main things, like obviously the dress. Yay or nay?
I mean, I liked it. She's a feminist, remember, so it has to be quite conservative,
yeah, I hear
quite, and like not too sparkly, not too
I mean,
much.
I'm not into the fuss, so there were no frills, there was no fanciness.
There was nothing.
It was demure, and it was,
yeah.
You know, and it looked. Listen, she looked good. She looked good. She's got the most gorgeous face. The chick could have walked down the aisle in a bin bag. She'd have been having it. She is gorgeous.
Wicked.
Cool. Do we have to say any more on the royal wedding?
I don't think we have to say any more.
But we should talk about Mum. Because
she was amazing.
She is a force to be reckoned with.
She held it down.
She did. And there was a lot of debate in my household when we were watching it on the whole, why is she sat on her own?
Yeah.
She shouldn't be alone. And I think the flip side of that is she represented. She isn't with a partner. There were no other family members. So she held her own, headstrong, shoulders back, nose pierced and dreadlocks.
She did it.
And she did it.
She was authentic.
And she looked absolutely stunning.
She look great?
Stunning.
And she looked so calm.
Yeah, she did. She did.
And
she
like,
looked very calm and put together. And I think that's where Meghan gets it from.
Yes,
she's
classy.
She's the definition of new girl power.
Oh, she's my fave.
Yeah.
I love her. I kind of love her more than I love Meghan, which, I mean, I know I'm not supposed to
big
say,
statement.
but I do love the mum. I'm in it for the mum.
In it for the mum. I
hear
that.
I think she's dope.
Yeah.
She's got something about it. But I mean, enough about the serious stuff that we have to talk about because everybody else is talking about it.
Yes.
Leading to another thing that everybody else is talking about, which is not as serious.
Yeah.
Love Island.
Love Island is back.
It absorbed my life.
Yeah, it's back on Monday.
I had
ITV2.
T-shirts. It was so bad. I followed all of them individually. I got really emotionally involved.
See, I'm not even somebody that loves a reality TV show, and somehow I got super sucked into it.
It was so... You know,
I felt like I
with my brother. My brother was watching it, and we were all cussing him like, oh, what you doing? TV trash, what you doing? And then we must have watched one... He had to watch it upstairs for some reason. And then we were like... I was watching, I was like, oh...
Yeah, you get sucked in.
What happened?
You get sucked in.
Oh, what person has to leave? What, they're switching now?
Yeah, so we've got a brand new lineup going into the Love Island house on Monday. 11 new singletons. And Caroline Flack, I quote, has said that this is the most gorgeous set of people to enter the Love Island house. I mean, I have to strongly disagree with Caroline. They're not looking too hot for me. And you know, I'm not trying to bash anybody here, but
last year had Marcel.
Maybe the personalities will make them shine more. Maybe we've got to get to know them.
No, there's one in particular. There's a guy who had like tattoos. I can't remember his name. He had tattoos. He had a really sick haircut.
I mean, I will say that the lineup is 11 people that are predominantly models or some kind of social media.
I mean, it's a superficial show, so it has to be just like people.
I found it quite amusing when doing a little bit of research on the show. The fact that Danny Dyer's daughter is going in. She's 21. She's a barmaid, and she would like. When asked what she would like to find in the house, she said, a genuine man who doesn't know who my dad is.
Sorry, Sian, can I ask you what her name is?
Yes, her name is Danny Dyer. So, thinking, hun, are you okay? It might be a bit tricky to find a man who doesn't know who your dad is, given your name is a bit of a giveaway.
You want to change your name, dude.
So, clearly, we can see what we're in for, but you can guarantee, you know, they won a BAFTA. Love Island won a BAFTA for the best reality show. Yeah, they won a BAFTA for the best reality show, and they were they brought in ITV's biggest ever audience last year.
Really?
To date, ITV2.
Wow.
So that's saying something for the power of the show. And I reckon this year we're going to be sat there watching again. Whether or not it's going to hold us the same way it did last year, I don't know. You got no Muggy Mike this year, so.
Oh, he was. Forget myself. He was my favorite. He did everyone dirty. He got revenge.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Camilla was my favorite.
Yeah, I like Camilla, although I did by the end of it want to sort of just say, get a grip. Everything's not so emotional.
She's just so heartbroken and gentle and soft like a flower.
Yeah, but yet she detonates bombs or something for a living. So I mean,
she does. You know, she's been doing some amazing charity work. Her and I totally forgot.
Yeah, I can't think of his name, but they're the only two.
They're still together.
Yeah.
And they're doing amazing charity work all over the world, which is great.
Hands up to them. Then you can't sort of.
So I'm
you can't knock them when we're talking about people doing good things around the world. Now, flipping it slightly to somebody who is in every corner of the world, clearly talked about, Mr. Kanye West.
Oh my god.
And the fact that he seems to be in beef continuously with everybody, basically.
All the time.
And the current beef, I don't know if we can even say it's his beef, because Miss Kardashian has jumped on it, Mrs. Kardashian West, and it's between him and Rhymesfest.
So the thing that upsets me is that if you're an old school hip hop fan, you'll know who Rhymefest is. And you'll know that he's not an attention seeker. He's not a person who has to be in the limelight. He's not a person who's completely obsessed with popularity, celebrity status. He will happily just do his thing, do what makes him happy, and not be in the limelight all the time.
Yeah.
So when he's kind of reaching out in the way that he is, it makes me think it's quite a genuine thing. Now, I may not agree with how he did it, but who knows? That might have been one of the avenues.
Let me just backtrack really quickly for those who don't know. Basically, Kanye and Rhymesfest, when they worked together years back, set up a charity.
So this is the thing. So Kanye's mother, the charity is named after Kanye's mother, basically, who obviously, as we all know, passed away, unfortunately, a while back. And it's basically, the charity is called Donda House. It's supposed to be...
it's like an outreach program for kids in the area, youth.
Kids, especially focusing on Chicago, which is obviously where Kanye is from. So he kind of wanted to give back to his hometown. And I think Rhymefest was left in charge of that at one point. As Kanye went to pursue other things. And I think now Rhymefest is kind of reaching out, being like, we haven't had any support.
Well, yeah, he kind of called him out on Twitter, although he does say he's been sort of trying to get in touch previously. He calls him out on Twitter, basically saying he's forgotten about Chicago, he's forgotten about the youth. He sort of called out and appealed to Drake and asked him to sort of bring some money into the event. And so it's kind of then got Kim Kardashian involved, because she always backs her man, as she says in her tweets, and basically she went at Rhymesfest.
But it wasn't even really like, it wasn't her. It was not her.
Yeah, there's a lot of controversy about that.
You know that Kim did not know anything about that situation, about the charity, about any of the things that were going on, the story. You could tell that it was just Kanye's mad Twitter fingers going crazy. But he didn't obviously want to do it from himself, because he obviously wants to seem like he's above it, or he's not involved in it. So he's like, I'm going to do it through Kim.
But it has then resulted in Rhymesfest responding to Kim, and then it even went as far as the charity have now changed their name, and they will cease to be known as...
You can't do that.
Yeah,
when people look up Donda House, all the first thing they're going to see is Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, exactly.
All of the beef.
I think she made some unnecessary comments about how she's going to take it away from him and let her children run it.
And then the whole thing about the fake Yeezys. I mean, why are you bringing that
she became... Yeah, if it was her, she became very petty, talking about how they saw him at the studio and he was trying to, make Kanye listen to his basic beats and stuff. Yeah, so...
Like, come on. Anyone who doesn't know who Rhymefest is, Google it. And then you can kind of let us know.
Yeah, he had a good couple
that you agree with me with how he's definitely not that type of dude.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be. And the charity have sort of stepped forward. They've changed the name. Yeah. So it does seem that they are genuinely saying they're struggling. They're running out of funds and they need the help. I can't say. I don't know if they'll get the help, but I mean we can keep our eyes peeled for that and see what happens, because it's a charity. Next subject after our topic of conversation being beef. We're going to move on to Mr. Childish Gambino.
And then return back to beef.
And return to beef afterwards. Mr. Childish Gambino, also known, or formerly known as Childish Gambino, now known as Donald Glover. Donald Glover, which is his birth name. If you haven't seen his music video for This Is America, go watch it.
I mean, it's ridiculous if you haven't seen it already. Because you should have, really. It's been a really, really long time.
It's been out a while, guys.
I mean, it's been out a while. I mean, this is a new podcast. So, I mean, we're talking about it.
We're talking about it, but people have been talking about it for a while. But it's controversial.
Yes.
I'm not going to say, and I think it's dividing a few people. There was talk in the very beginning of it being banned or being censored. Before the watershed, etc., etc.
But it shouldn't be, because I feel like the world is like 90% online now anyway.
Yeah.
And people are going to see these things.
Yeah,
it's real life. It's what's happening, and it's being put in a theatrical, musical, creative way.
For me, it's an incredibly intelligent music video. So applause for the guys, the creative heads behind this video. I think that Donald Glover performs his role in this music video exceptionally well.
Incredibly well.
He can dance. Clearly, he can act. He does it all in this music video, and I think he definitely puts the message across. The message being that, at the moment, America does seem to be riddled with gun crime and different, massacres happening all over the place. And he features a few different sort of references to things that have happened. If you can look up the lyrics are, again, pretty clever, and there's some repetition in there which is, done for a reason. Some of the moves are taken from slavery moves.
Wow, you've really done
I
this
know, I got hooked. I got hooked
into it.
Yeah, I did.
Damn.
I know.
I'm just here being like, I like it.
I know.
But I think it's like, I think it was great though. I feel like it's something that we needed culturally. I feel like it's something that's going back to Kanye that he wished he could have done, or that he maybe his intention might have been to do something creatively like that, but obviously it just didn't go
I think
to
it's
plan.
got people talking, and I think that was Donald Glover's intention.
Yeah.
When asked in a recent interview, what how people should perceive this music video, he said he wasn't going to answer that question because he wanted people to interpret it the way they interpret it. He doesn't want to give any preconceived conceptions. He doesn't want to give an introduction. He doesn't want to basically put words in our mouth. He wants us to watch it and take from it what we will. And
I think that's the most impressive thing you can do as an artist, is just let your art kind of
speak for itself.
As it is and speak for itself. And I think it takes a lot of confidence and a lot of balls to do that.
Yeah. So for me, it's a yay.
I'm
loving it.
Super yay.
Still loving
He's
it now.
So amazing.
Yeah.
I've been a Childish Gambino fan and Donald Glover fan since Community, or that was on TV.
See, I'm a new fan.
You're
I think because of This Is America, I've become a newbie. Started watching Atlanta.
See? There you go. All of these new guys
I have jumped on.
jumping on the bandwagon. Us real hardcore fans. We're like, we've been knowing this already. We knew he was a genius already.
Yeah, we do love him.
But I think moving on to kind of something positive.
And another person that I think we've all loved in the past is Miss Whitney Houston.
Oh, 100%. But I think
sadly we're going to be talking about her in a bit of a
different light.
A negative light.
Well, it's not really her fault at all. No. It's more like
it's another beef that's out there in social media and artistic.
It's a beefy spring.
It is, literally. And this is Pusha T's latest album cover, Daytona.
Right. So Pusha T, if you don't know about who Pusha T is, which is shameful, but if you don't, then he's obviously been in the game for a really long time. He was part of a group called The Clips, which was through Neptunes. They worked for Pharrell. They worked with loads of crazy, Justin Timberlake. And they had a lot of hits back in the 2000s. And now, solo project-wise, we haven't heard from Pusha T for a really long time, years. And he's been working on running Good Music, which is Kanye's label. And he's also kind of been working on other projects here and there, helping the community and everything. And he's now come in to be doing his latest project, which he actually recorded partly. I know everyone's talking about Kanye going to Wyoming, which is the most random spot you can possibly think of, to kind of record it. So he's been kind of back and forth from there. And he's released this project. And you know what? The things he's got to say are really impressive, really impactful. But, sorry, all of that is taken completely out of the window when I see the album art.
Yeah, the music and even the artist himself, it totally becomes irrelevant. So if you haven't seen the album cover, go and have a look. But basically... Awful. In my opinion, my humble opinion, it's a very distasteful picture. It is a picture that apparently Kanye West paid $85,000 for.
But here's the backstory of this. So what happened is Pusha T was like, the album was finished, our artwork was all chosen. It was kind of like really close to the release date. Mm-hmm. And then Kanye apparently, allegedly contacted Pusha T being like, I don't think this album art speaks for what the music is saying. He was like, okay, cool. I mean, I like it. We did a shoot. It was great. So what he then did, he was like, I think we should use this image. Now, Pusha T obviously is like, I don't have the budget for that. I don't want to pay $85,000 for an image when we've got perfectly good ones over there. And Kanye was like, I'll pay for it. Yeah. So obviously,
I mean, I also read. Sorry to cut you.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I also read that apparently Kanye West gave the sort of okay to change the album cover literally the night before release at was 1 a.m. in the morning.
1 a.m.
And Pusha T didn't, I believe, allegedly have much say on it.
Oh, yeah.
So I believe as we digress and talk about this image, the image is a picture of a drug-infested bathroom that belonged to Miss Whitney Houston prior to her death. And I just think it says all the wrong things and it sets the wrong tone. And as I said before, it totally distracts from the artist and the music. That becomes irrelevant because you're almost taken back.
You're like,
is it 6 years since she passed? We're taken back to that moment.
And it's such a private, intimate photograph that really does show the downfall
of what she was struggling with. And I don't think that we should be being reminded of that 6 years later. This woman is a legend. She is an icon in music history. She's broken boundaries. You know, she set new levels as an artist. And she's a voice. She was a force to be reckoned with. And I just think, you know, obviously her death, it was a tragedy. There was a lot of, controversy around it. It was a dark time. Nobody really should be revisiting that about Whitney Houston. We should just be celebrating her and her music. And I think Kanye, he's way out of his depth here. I think it was a really below the belt move. I know that Whitney Houston's cousin has come forward.
Damian Elliott. Who's obviously, I think he's won loads of awards by himself as a musician.
Yes, he has,
So, I mean, I'm over Kanye. I'm going to be honest. I just feel like this whole shock and awe thing that he's doing, this stuff for creative impact that he's doing, I feel like it's damaging to the culture, and I think it's damaging to him as an artist and as a musician. And I feel like decisions like these, just to sell records, you're completely exposing somebody's personal, private downfall and intimate family secrets and situations.
It's distasteful,
just
and I
to
just
sell
think there was
records and to make a shock and awe to get attention.
There has to be a line that you draw. I mean, I read a quote from Damian Elliott himself saying that he's been watching the train wreck happening but didn't think he'd go this far in invading someone's family privacy. And that was talking about Kanye West's recent outbursts and the fact that he clearly is on some kind of a demise. And I'm not sure where that train is heading. But for me, to wrap that subject up, I think it was a big error of judgment.
Big no, because I'm actively not listening to it because I feel like...
And I think there will be a lot of people that won't listen,
There'll be loads of people.
But
then, I mean, keeping on the subject of Pusha T, this whole Drake Pusha T beef, it's just a pure album sales thing. It's
so much so that we haven't even delved into it too much.
It's not real.
The beef goes back years and years and actually stems from,
She did her research.
I did, again.
I'm a huge Neptunes fan and I did not know this.
The beef between... Drake and Pusha T currently stems back years and years, and it wasn't even originally Drake's beef, it was Lil Wayne's beef.
You reel off these facts. You do this.
I know, right? And because obviously he is a label buddy with Drake, it seems that Drake has inherited this beef. It's just been going on for so long, and it seems to keep getting reignited around album releases. And that to me is just all publicity. It's a bit blah, blah, blah. It's not a real beef. We're not talking about, I don't know, Notorious B.I.G. and Tupac.
But we won't ever get that stuff again.
No, it's
people
not real.
Are too crazy with like Twitter fingers and social media.
It's just a little bit of a diss here and there to create an atmosphere and get the music selling, I guess.
Buzzing and get stuff for radio stations to talk about, all of those
Personally,
things.
for me, I think we should be letting the music do the talking, and I just think, having to hype it with, pictures that are, well, they're poor images, and it's distasteful, and even having to diss in your music and your raps just to sell is a bit rubbish for me. So I think we could just let the music do the talking.
Yeah, shut up, everyone.
Yeah, exactly. And that kind of brings us to the end.
I don't want to talk about it.
You don't want to? Well, do it. We've wrapped up our 3 for Thursday, but what we decided to do is have a little add-on at the end of our podcast.
I can't talk.
And a little section called Maybe It's Just Me. And each week, Tiann or myself will discuss something that has bothered us, or is bothering us, or is jumping on our last nerve, or whatever.
Ruining our lives.
And this week, ruining our lives, literally. And this week, Tiann's Maybe It's Just Me is... I'll let you do the talking.
It's a deep one, guys. I'm emotionally affected by this. Everyone kind of knew the whole Bill Cosby situation that was going on, and obviously it was a shock, nonetheless, very much of a shock. And obviously, as a woman, I actively stand by women kind of fighting for their rights and fighting for
I think it's you can't
right.
condone any of that behaviour, and I think that these women are brave and they've spoken up. I can't lie. As a side note, I was devo about the whole situation with Dr. Huxtable. I'd watched the Cosbys my entire life, and it was a great shame. It was sad, but it gets worse.
So my Maybe It's Just Me is just me, but if Morgan Freeman is found guilty, my childhood is ruined. Morgan Freeman has to be the most heard voice, the most iconic voice, the most iconic character. He plays he's been in so many films and has played such an important role. To me personally, as I was growing up, all the films I used to love used to have Morgan Freeman in them, and he was always played that man, that fatherly figure, that granddad figure. That
I just think also he seems one of the members of the old school that's still going. He carries himself like such a gentleman. He seems humble. In every speech you hear him do, he's intelligent and he's giving good advice, and he's saying things that should be heard, and he doesn't seem to be too bothered by the celeb status. He seems quite private, and to date I don't know of any scandals or much news in general around Mr. Morgan Freeman, so this blew my mind.
It's crazy. I don't know if anyone's been keeping up with what's been going on. There's been many different accounts that have kind of been pulled up and come to light on sets of movies, on sets of even like behind the scenes. There's a lot of credible people that are coming forward being like, look, we've experienced this. Morgan Freeman's team actually released a statement being like, I think he apologised for his humour.
He apologised if anybody took his behaviour the wrong way. So he's not actually apologising for any actions because he's not admitting to it. He said he strongly disputes any of the alleged things that he's supposed to have done, the accusations.
But one of them was pretty crazy. They come up to recent ones. I think one of his latest films, Going in Style, which kind of was a really, really great film for me. And apparently on set of that, there was some issues, complications with including a woman's skirt. There's been inappropriate comments. So I understand. I'm coming from two places here. I understand that someone might not mean any harm, but they might just say things without thinking. Doesn't make it right, but I understand that.
I think also the problem is now things have come to light in the way they have with Harvey Weinstein and Bill Cosby.
R. Kelly.
Yeah, with so many big names now, women are feeling empowered, which is great. You should feel empowered. You should feel brave enough to finally speak out. I do have to play devil's advocate slightly and just say that I do think that now it's becoming such a blank canvas that nobody really knows what the levels are. And I think the fact that Morgan Freeman is in a position of power, him making certain jokes then becomes sexual harassment where it might not be in another circumstance.
Yeah, on a day-to-day basis.
I'm not trying to say that any of these women are making things up or that they're just trying to cling to get some 5 minutes of fame. I just think it's all becoming very tricky. And to wrap that up, I would just say it can't be true for me. I hope it's not.
Oh my God, I hope it's not. I genuinely do feel like I hope, because apparently I've heard that they've kind of used the same lawyer as they did in the Bill Cosby case. So,
which is scary.
But I hope I really do hope that none of these accusations are actually kind of true, or that it's going to turn into a big, massive,
The sad
serious
thing
thing.
is that Morgan Freeman, who is one of the best actors to date and so successful in his field, is now currently clouded by this.
It's just his career is now that he's worked so hard.
He's totally not going to be credited.
But then, if it is true, that we have to stand by women,
of course.
So we have to be like, it's a shame, but
you stand by anyone that is a victim of any type of sexual assault or anything that they feel was wrong.
Is wrong.
And you know, like you said, we have to stand with people in all aspects.
I'll stand by crying because I am so upset. But I mean, that's before I think I need a moment.
I know, right? So yeah, check it out. Check out the Morgan Freeman scandal, and
check it out.
Maybe we'll update you next week. But for now, that is us out of here. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Check us out on all the usual socials.
Yes.
And we shall see you next week for our new 3 for Thursday.
Brilliant.
Ciao.
Bye.